The Big Ten took a big blow on New Year's Eve when Alabama trounced Michigan State 38-0 in the college football playoffs. But a new year brings new opportunities. 4 Big Ten teams in action today. Cooper is undoubtedly one of the best distance runners statewide, but his skills in juggling, which combines juggling while jogging, are world class. April Wilson is Purdue's leading scorer at 14 points per game, but in their most recent win at Michigan, the senior only made 3 baskets as she settled for a 9-point outing, but she did influence the game with a team-high 11 assists. Grew up in Europe, playing the other kind of football, a little something we call soccer here in the States. Coming from the other side of the Atlantic, they took a unique path to make their American football dreams come true. Although the Badgers lost 3 times in the non-conference here at the Kohl Center, Purdue knows better than to underestimate Wisconsin. The Badgers have an all-time winning percentage of .883 in this arena in conference play. He never actually shot the ball, but nevertheless, still a magical moment at Mackey. We'll be right back after a short break. The Indianapolis Colts cleaning house today. The club decides to part ways with 6 members of the coaching staff, including defensive coordinator Greg Minuski. Minuski had been Indy's defensive coordinator since 2012 when Chuck Pagano took over as head coach. In Minuski's 4 years, the Colts gave up at least 40 points in 12 games, including 3 times in the playoffs. In December, the Colts lost back-to-back games by at least 35 points for the first time since 1978. On the hardwood, the Indiana Pacers looking to bounce back after Monday's overtime loss to the Miami Heat. The blue and gold staying in Florida, this time taking on the Orlando Magic. Paul George getting some shots up before the game. Second half, Pacers up 2. Evan Fournier turnover. PG-13 heads the other way. Victor Oladipo tries to draw the charge, but to no avail. Give Paulie G the hoop and the harm. Third quarter winding down. Monte Ellis using the screen to create some space and knock down the pull-up jumper. Ellis with 19 points on the night. Moving ahead to the fourth, the Magic kick it out to Oladipo, the former Hoosier. Knocks down the long ball. He ends up with 20, trying to rally the troops, but the Pacers with a bit more in the tank tonight. Nice pass from Ellis to Jordan Hill, who slams it home. The Pacers beat the Magic 95-86. Next game is at New Orleans on Friday night. And plenty of NBA stars have suited up in the McDonald's All-American game, and one future Boilermaker might get that opportunity as well. Carson Edwards, a Purdue commit from Atascocita High School in Texas, is nominated to play in the prestigious contest featuring the best high school players from the nation. The final selections for the game will be announced on January 17th. Current Boiler freshman Caleb Swanigan was a McDonald's All-American last year. And speaking of the Boilers, despite their recent loss to Iowa on Saturday, the Purdue men are in good spirits and looking forward to tomorrow's game against Michigan. They are using the stumble against Iowa as a learning tool. Senior guard Johnny Hill says it's a perfect way to test their ability to overcome difficult situations.
Everyone wants to have a perfect season, but the truth of the matter is, sometimes you come up short. In these situations, no one wants to be in them, but it's kind of, special to be in it because it just another form of adversity. How are you going to react?
You can learn from a loss just as well. You can learn from a win, but also it's just one game. Iowa's a really good team. Iowa will beat people. They had Iowa State down 30, things like that. You got to move on to the next game. So we're not down about it. We watched the game the day after. After that was over with, we'll focus on Michigan.
Tip-off for tomorrow's game is at 7 o'clock at Mackey Arena. The Purdue women also in action on Thursday night. The Boilers going on the road to Northwestern. Sharon Versup's ladies are off to a 2-0 start in Big Ten play. In Sunday's win over Illinois, Purdue's post players held Illini center Shatrice White in check in the first half, limiting her to only 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting. A confidence-boosting performance they hope carries over to Evanston, where they will face Wildcat forward Nia Coffey, who is averaging 18 points and 11 rebounds per game, including a 25-point, 17-rebound outing against Nebraska on Sunday.
And the kid from Northwestern is totally different than the kid from Illinois, so You know, she really extends out. She's so athletic. She can get to the hole. She does a variety of things. But how we handled Illinois big just gives our team confidence.
We play great team defense, and in order to take a player away, it's going to take the whole team, and that's exactly what we did against Illinois and what we're definitely going to have to do against Northwestern. Definitely look forward to the challenge. I think that's what makes the game so fun. It's not fun when you play against people that aren't good.
And a quick update on the local high school level. A big congrats goes out to Central Catholic star Cam Onken. The senior guard is nominated, just like Carson Edwards, for the McDonald's All-American game. The future Villanova Wildcat led the Knights to a Class A state title in her junior year. Onken and the Knights have a 10-3 record this season. That will do it for sports. We'll be right back after a short break.
It's an ordinary January, Michigan morning. Inside the halls of Ypsilanti Community High School stands a big man.
Hey, let's go!
In a big brown suit, who took an extraordinary path to become a leader. With minutes to go before his students begin an exam day, Principal Justin Jennings gives them a friendly reminder.
If you're not in class, teachers will lock the doors and you'll be escorted to the auditorium until the next exam.
You know, I would have never, imagined myself in this situation, having sat back in that classroom, 20-something years ago, at Central.
As a high school basketball star at Grand Rapids Central in West Michigan, Jennings aspired to reach the next level.
Them shorts are small.
In spite of the tight attire, there was no doubt Jennings was a high flyer.
At the end of my recruitment, I was getting recruited by just about every school you can imagine. My last few schools were Purdue, Michigan State, Arizona.
While many saw his talent on the hardwood, hardly anyone recognized Jennings' struggle in the classroom.
Right.
He could barely read.
It took some time to realize that, for me to realize how deficient I was. But yeah, I would say there was a lot of embarrassment.
In spite of his struggle, Jennings graduated from high school with grades good enough to get into Purdue. As a first-generation college student, Jennings had no idea of the academic endeavor he was about to embark on when he arrived on campus in 1992.
My first semester of college, a guy who can't read, I took 21 hours. So it was crazy. And I remember Coach Katie calling me in the office. They were like, "What are you doing?"
The son of a pastor, Justin pretty much memorized the Bible growing up. Ironically, his problem came to light during a Bible as literature class.
And we were reading a verse Habakkuk. And that's not something you normally read in the Bible. So I couldn't do it, and the teacher kind of sensed it.
Jennings took a test that determined that he read at a third grade level. Brandon Brantley, a teammate of Jennings at Purdue and a current member of the Boilermaker coaching staff, was surprised by the news when I spoke to him.
Well, now that's shocking. I didn't know that. He's a well-spoken guy. He's intelligent, so I never would have guessed it.
When you're, a basketball player, you don't want people to understand or know that you can't read.
He set out on a mission to learn how to read. He reached out to his former third grade teacher and they started with the basics.
We were talking about words and she was showing me how to sound them out and different things like that. So during that time, I probably shouldn't tell this, but I actually almost flunked out of Purdue.
He secluded himself in the stacks, far away from his peers, and simply put, just read. Starting with kids' books like The Giving Tree. By the start of his senior year,
not only was I able to read, but I was comprehending what I was reading also.
Jennings left West Lafayette in 1996 a success on the court, picking up 3 Big Ten titles, and a success in the classroom, graduating with a degree in African American Studies. His time at Purdue would prove to be the springboard to a lifelong yearning for learning. Ruben Juarez, Sports 18.